What's left of one man's life on the back of a farm truck in Kunduz. Under the blankets are tiny casualties of the Afghan war. The UN says 10 children and 3 adults were killed in a US airstrike on Saturday morning.
It was around 1 a.m. on Friday when the plane bombed their area. 13 people were killed. The victims are from my aunt's family, my cousins, their daughters and grandchildren. They are all my family.
In Afghanistan, so many people are dying in airstrikes in rural areas. Farm trucks are often used to bring bodies into town centres. This was 2 weeks ago in Ghazni province. And in Laghman province, following an airstrike 3 weeks ago. US forces say they didn't assess civilian casualties, yet these people blame the US, chanting death to America.
The government is saying they didn't do this, it's not their job. They say it's the US. Our government is backing the US, and then the US is doing this to us.
But Americans are being killed too. The latest airstrikes in Kunduz were ordered hours after 2 US soldiers were killed nearby, along with 4 Afghan commandos. They were on a joint operation against the Taliban. US forces say they were acting in self-defence and take every measure to prevent civilian casualties, in contrast, they say, to the Taliban, who intentionally hide behind women and children. The US is investigating the Kunduz strike. The UN wants the findings published and compensation paid to victims. Airstrikes are an increasing problem in Afghanistan. US forces relaxed their rules of engagement last year, removing certain proximity requirements for airstrikes. The result, according to the UN, was the deaths of 393 civilians, more than double the year prior, more than 2014, 2015 and 2016 combined. 2/3 of the dead were women and children.
They were not Al-Qaeda, they were not terrorists. They were from this soil, from this nation. For God's sake, we ask the government, why are we killed?
Far from Kunduz province, the US and Taliban continue to negotiate an end to the 17-year war, but the prospect of peace is fueling the battle, both sides fighting for leverage in the talks. In the middle lie these children, still in the pyjamas they went to sleep in. Charlotte Bellis, Al Jazeera.